Thank you all for allowing me to present tonight. I want to talk about our teachers right now and the great job they're doing, our instructional assistants, bus drivers, instructional assistants, bus drivers, along with the cafeteria staff. I just want to say everything that everybody's doing to make this a success, central office workers as well. Comparing NTI from March to now, I've seen a lot of growth. I've seen a lot of good live instruction attempted by our teachers, a lot of co-teaching models going on. So I want you to know the effort is tremendous by our staff. That's what I want to start out with tonight. Before we move on to what I want to introduce tonight was probably, I don't know, Ms. Morgan, you may give me a better time frame here. Sometime last year we started talking about hiring some grant writers for the district. And she said, I'd like for you to post this position and hire this position. And she said, I just have one request. And I said, okay, what's that? And she said, don't mess this up. So and that was, she said, this is very important. She said that, and we posted the position, looked at our different people that applied, and we did. We had our interviews, and I came back to Ms. Moore. She said, who would you like to hire for this position? I said, I'd like to hire Ruthie Miller. I'd like to hire Susan Ryan. She goes, that's two people. And I said, yes, you're right. And I said, but in order for us to really have the impact that I think we can have with these positions, these two people working together simultaneously will pay for themselves 10 times over. And they will impact learning in our district, and they will impact programs in our district. So this has been a long time coming, but I wanted you all to see what these two have been able to accomplish in the short time they've been in this district. So I'm going to call up Ruthie Miller and Susan Ryan, and I think we did a good job and hired the right people. They're doing a great job, so I want to call them up and talk to you all tonight. So come on up. Thank you all for being here.
Hi, I'm Ruthie Miller, and I'm a former Hardin County teacher, been in the district for over 30 years, and so now I'm grant writing. It's kind of a passion of mine. I call it a hobby, actually, because you have to kind of, I don't know, have a creativity and enjoy what you're doing when you're writing. But so I've been a grant writer, and here is my partner, and she is awesome.
Hey.
Susan Ryan.
Yeah, so my name is Susan Ryan, and my background is in elementary and then also career tech ed, gifted education, and a little bit of assessments. So I think Ruthie and I make a great pair. We really enjoy working together, and we're grateful for that you hired both of us. So we're going to go over a few things tonight. We're going to show you some grants that we have received. But before I get into that, I'd like to talk just for a second about when we apply for grants and things that we commonly see. First of all, our job is to find basically what grantors want to know is what problem do you have and how can we fix your problem. And so it's our job to truly understand what they want to fund and how they want us to go about fulfilling that. Because whenever Superintendent Morgan signs off on that assurances document, we're saying that we're going to do what we say we're going to do to get that grant money. One thing, I think, just a bit of education for a lot of people that we work with that maybe have never applied for a grant, teachers, principals, we talk to them about how most grant funds are not for supplanting. So if you have something that's being paid for already in your district, almost all grants will say, we don't want to come in and pay for something that you're already providing. We want to provide for new things that are unavailable to your students. Obviously, some hot topics out there. A lot of grantors want to see hands-on learning. They like STEM. They want to see community involvement. And they like to know that they're meeting the needs of a diverse group of students. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about a few of the grants we've got. We're not going to talk about all of them, but we've tried to hit several different areas in our school district. So the first one, we're going to talk about some that have influenced child nutrition. We received 3 grants this year for child nutrition in the area of equipment assistance. And so we provided warmers and also combi ovens. So some of the equipment that we replaced was over 20 years old. And so that was a super important thing. And it made our equipment be able to be mobile and reach more students. So that was equipment assistance. Summer feeding, a lot of people may not have thought about what was the impact of summer feeding when COVID hit. Well, immediately all of our meals had to be packaged and had to be things that were COVID, safe and secure for students
Right.
and easy to grab. And so that's a lot of styrofoam, not things that we normally and typically have in our budget. And so Dow Corning jumped in and really helped us with that, and we were very grateful.
We also received a grant from KDE for fresh fruits and vegetables. As a former PE teacher, I really feel like that was really important. And so we hit our top 3 schools for free and reduced lunch. So every day they receive a fresh fruit in the morning, and in the afternoon, a fresh vegetable from that grant.
Another grant we received, you may have heard about 3 different family readiness events that happened for preschool families. And so the families came, they were connected to community resources, they built relationships with school personnel, and then each of the children got to take home a Get Ready backpack. And that happened in different locations in the county, out in the community.
We also applied for a grant from KDE for a visual arts program at Lincoln Trail. The topic was Kentucky culture. They are making cardboard dulcimers, learning about rhythm. They're taking a look at nature in their visual arts program, so they're implementing that this year.
This was a fun one to write. This was real robots. And, so we talked about supplanting. What grants will allow you to do is to expand sometimes things you're doing. And that's what we did here. At GCB, they had VEX Robotics, but only about 10%, only 10 students were able to build those robots because robotic equipment is so expensive.
Very expensive,
This
yeah.
grant put in $15,000 just to buy robotics equipment.
It's about
And-
$3,000 a robot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
So we bought some VEX. We had some other equipment that the ratio of student to equipment was pretty high, and so we were able to lower that ratio. And then the very cool thing was some screen-free robots that we provided for first and second and K students, and that was very cool. So.
We also wrote and received a 21st Century Learning Grant through KDE, $675,000 for 5 years. And this helped Radcliffe Elementary with academics, enrichment, homework help. So we targeted an after-school program, and it's running right now, and it's running very successfully. We're writing right now one for Lakewood Elementary and one for Woodland.
Ruth, if I may ask, would you say the grant amount again on that particular grant was how much?
$675,000.
Wow.
That's what I thought I understood. That's a right sizable grant right there.
It's
It
a
is.
5-year grant.
And we're both working on one right now, so.
That's 675 combined throughout the 5 is
Over
Yeah.
the 5-year period.
great.
That's the sort of thing you'd notice. Wow.
We also wrote for the Excel program called Heals Together. It's a women and children's initiative for the teen pregnant girls at College View. And we were one of the finalists, and we were awarded the award just a few weeks ago. So that's really helpful for those girls who at this time are in the Excel program. We've partnered with Once Upon a Child, and that organization here in Elizabethtown is providing bottles, diapers, breast pumps, anything that the girls need. They contact Ms. Tucker and really have been a great help.
And Ruthie, as I understand it, we're also able to do classes before they actually deliver the baby. Before it was
Only
after
after.
the fact, but this allows some classes. Ms. Tucker has just been phenomenal with this program. Did a great job following Ms. Cannon. And so they get that assistance before, Bohannon, sorry, I knew that wasn't right, Bohannon, but it's a tremendous jump start to that
The
program.
data has shown that due to COVID, we are going to have more children, more teens in that situation. So being proactive and using that grant money to aid in the program is going to be, really helpful.
Yes.
A lot of the grants we write for, some of them are pretty competitive. This was a very competitive one. Of course, the 21st Century Grant, a lot of these, we really haven't talked about the number given in the state, but like the GCB STEM grant, we were one of 4 awardees in the state. There weren't many new schools awarded for 21st Century.
We were one of the top grant writers.
So, you know, for that one. This is another one. There were 8 awards in the state for a COVID re-engagement grant. This is for dropout prevention, and it gives North Hardin $50,000 to hire a couple of part-time, you know, most likely, I'm not for sure who they've hired, retired teachers, but certified instructors to give some tutoring. So students are limited in the number of hours that they're able to have direct instruction, and so this allows them to have some tutoring, and it also supplies some mental health supports for those students, which we know are very important right now.
We also wrote for an adaptive technology grant through Dow last year, and that was for EC3, and it turned out really well. They helped buy some technology equipment. They use 3D printers to develop and engineer adaptive equipment for citizens in Hardin County. We also received this fall a connectivity grant through Dow. That grant helps pay for internet access for people who can't afford it. And then we also applied to the Elizabethtown Block Grant and received monies for Chromebooks.
Question on the connectivity one, that's for people that have students in our system, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Hardin County students who do not have internet access, and so they would,
Right.
we partnered with, I think it was Spectrum and Bluegrass to get discounted rates and also free hotspots in Chromebooks.
That's fantastic.
And so we're going to finish up with some career tech ed applications. As you probably know, career tech ed is an expensive thing to run. And so John Hardin Hydroponics, they received, first we started with a smaller FFA grant, and then they were one of 2 grants in the state that got the Innovation Award. And they're just doing great things. The technology that we were able to purchase for their hydroponic learning was very, very impressive. Just leading in the field as far as student instruction with hydroponics. And then residential maintenance. You know, we're always grateful when we have people in the community who come to us and say, hey, do you know about this grant? And that's exactly what Lincoln Trail Home Builders did. They said, you know, we want to make sure you know about this grant from the Home Builders Association. They partnered with Home Depot. So we had $13,000 of curriculum and training given to us. And in addition to that, Home Depot is sending us a gift card and giving the instructor some tools. And that actually spurred you may have seen in the paper, the Heart of Kentucky Realty Association.
Yep.
They said, we would like to give you a grant, and we'd like to talk to our state association about matching our grant. And so we've been very blessed that this is a brand new pathway for us, and we've had some incoming funds.
Excellent.
We hope we haven't given you too much information. Wasn't too much grants for you, but it does really highlight a lot of different things all across the district.
Talk about the grand total.
Well, we don't like to brag. I told Susan,
Please
I said,
do.
I hate this.
Please do that. But let us know what that number is.
I don't know, but as you can see, we have some grants that are pending, and we steadily work at it, so.
So we've pulled in over $1 million already and hope to have quite a bit more.
And this is how much time? How much time have you done this in?
Well,
We started in August.
Yep.
And so we kind
Of
of got
19.
rolling around
Right.
September.
Yep.
You know, 14 months.
Yep.
I have a question. I'm involved in contracting a lot. What is your P-win? You're not losing many. That means you're really targeting these, right?
Maybe you're applying for.
well, I
what you
think we
get
know
versus
the
not.
Yes.
district, that's the thing, we know the schools, we went out when we first began and talked to different schools and said, you know, how can we help you? Let us know, we've been reaching out to the schools.
But
So it's
the,
just not writing blindly, we're like, oh yeah, remember, we need to do, you know, this school was looking for that.
well, the usual ratio is about 20%. You guys are way, way beyond that.
We're doing better than the average there
Yeah.
right now.
Well, you stole my thought there. I was gonna talk about their
Sorry.
relationships in schools. No, I just wanted you to see the principals now are seeing their success rate and they're saying, let's reach out to them
That's
and let
great.
them help our schools. And that's money that doesn't come out of our general budget, or title funds. So I just appreciate the impact they're having on students. You see how many programs they're getting for our district. So thank you.
One other important thing to me, a lot of times grants can be structured like a drug deal where the first one's free. None of these really are. This is all, you get it, you keep it, it's yours.
A lot of these weren't matching grants where we had to put forth half the money either. So that was.
Yeah, it's just amazing. This is really good work.
This is free and clear.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
How are we made aware of the grants that's available out there?
We work through Greg. Greg sends us a list. I also have a listserv that I look for, and so does Susan. And then we're always watching KDE's website
Okay.
when they have out competitive grants.
And that is something to note, you know, a lot of our private corporations, we've been going to their site, places we check annually, and some of those sites, they've pulled back funding due to COVID. Private foundations are designating a lot of their their funding towards the community, they're designating it to COVID relief. So there's not as many private grants out there to write for. We're busy right now with federal grants, but any grants that, if you run across an opportunity, we'd be very happy to receive those.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.